Hey, how's it going, everybody? Josh here, and very interesting update from Kadabracon. So, in a rare turn of events, we have the former assistant director here, Crystal, with us. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm doing, as best as I can, actually. I mean,
uh,
no one's mad at me from what I heard, so that's good at least.
oh yeah, no, we're not mad at, we're definitely not mad at you. So yeah, we're doing an update. Never thought because this is rare, mind you, because I don't.
Of course.
Besides Ikicon, because we have connection with Ikicon, we don't hear
Mhm,
anything back from any conventions that we do any reviews or any opinions on. So
mhm.
this is a great opportunity to hear from someone who is actually inside the
Yeah,
teams at a
of course.
convention. So yeah, so we're going to talk about some topics that were brought up in the initial review. So first and
Yes.
foremost, I would like to know, because this is my one of my big questions, because I was really looking forward to seeing the convention grow at the convention center.
Of
So
course.
I'm wondering why the move to the convention center from the old location last year.
Well, the biggest issue was the space.
Yeah.
Backstory, I was just an attendee year two. I went with my little family. We took our young child, and we noticed right away, I mean, it looked crowded, and that was very alarming for me. Just trying to get our passes, trying to pay to get in, like these poor volunteers literally looked like deers caught in headlights. Poor babies were they looked like they were struggling to just take money from us just to get in.
Yeah.
And mind you, more background on me is I come from RealmsCon. I used
Oh,
to run registration for years.
interesting. All right.
Well, because that's ran by my uncle.
Yeah.
I'm Crystal Velasquez. Well, he is Daniel Velasquez.
Gotcha. All right. All right. Yeah, I've heard of them. So I didn't make the connection. All right. Cool.
Well, yeah, that's not something I really talk about or brag about. People who grew up with me, I was a nuisance in my high school passing out flyers to everybody I could. I used to go with my Uncle Danny, me and my sister, both of us. We would go with them to other conventions to promote RealmsCon, and we would pass out flyers.
That's cool. That's real. Yeah, yeah. The convention center, or the event space last year, was basically they were in a quinceanera hall.
Yeah, people like to call it like a wedding venue, essentially.
Wedding
I
venue. Yeah.
mean, I also had I want to say, was it my prom, or I had some sort of school dance or something there at one point.
Oh, that's that's interesting to hear. Oh,
I
that's
was like,
cool.
oh, I've been here before. Oh, this is not the place to have a convention. What do you, okay. But I did remember seeing online, like, oh, there was this switch from this thing to this thing. So I was like, okay, there's that.
Yeah, yeah. It
So I
was.
gave it a pass.
Yeah, last year was our first time going, and it was definitely
Oh, okay.
very crowded.
Hmm.
It was very tight when you went
Yeah.
when you went into
Yeah.
the
Because
space.
I went during peak hours on Saturday. We went in. Oh, excuse
Hmm.
me. Um, yeah, I went during peak hours on Saturday, and it was very crowded.
Oh,
That's for sure.
oh yeah, very crowded. Yeah, we were there all weekend, and it was quite crowded. Um, so my next question for this year is what was going on with the panel rooms, because we got there on Friday and
Hmm.
Saturday, and we saw
Yes.
that everything was empty,
Yeah.
and just a TV in second panel room,
Hmm.
and a the small little projector that I think
Yeah.
they tried to have us use last year as well, but that
Well,
wasn't
because that was probably most likely Kirkwood's
his
personal
his personal
projector from
projector.
home. Yes.
And Kirkwood is the director and
Owner.
of
Yes.
owner of Kadabricon. So yeah, okay,
Yes. The
yeah.
director owners. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. So what was going on with the rooms? Why weren't they uh
Dressed for panels
dressed
like
for
they should
panels?
have been.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So they were not dressed for anything because and I warned him. I told him, hey, we are not going to have enough tables and chairs. We have so many vendors, so many artists. We're not going to have enough chairs for even maybe the main events. And so clearly there was not going to be anything for the panel rooms either because we outsourced tables and chairs.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Fire Rentals were a sponsor. They were the ones that provided the tables and chairs and pipe and drape for the event
All right.
because the owner director wanted to outsource. He said this venue is way too expensive to be purchasing resources through them. We need to outsource. We need to outsource. So I went and looked around to see what was available, and I was the one that found Fire Rentals. And I said, "Here you go. Here's the place that can do what you need. They have some options." And he ran with that. And mind you, they're not used to doing events like ours. They did not have enough. He had told me a number at one point where he was like, "Yeah, he can supply like maybe 250 chairs or something like that." I was like,
That's
and
definitely
I'm
not
just like,
enough.
yeah, I was like, dude, that's not enough. I was like, remember, we have VIPs. We had, I think the number was supposed to be 50 VIPs is what we had agreed on,
Uh-huh.
and they're supposed to get, you know, um, early seating, like the first few rows. Like you're gonna barely have enough for that. And I warned him. And he's like, "Oh, we'll just, if anything, we'll just get more. We'll get more." We're also in Corpus Christi. We do not have a lot of options to be running around getting more tables and chairs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a big space, not a big city.
No, but I warned him.
So, okay, so going back to the first question a little bit, because you mentioned
Yes,
that Kirk said the venue was very expensive.
yes.
It
And I
for
warned him about that too, because again, with my experience with RoundsCon, we had it there. And I voiced my opinion on like some of the issues that could come up from using that venue.
Yeah, I heard the initial rumor was like they were expecting close to a couple thousand people or something like that,
Yes.
but honestly, I know that venue can hold at the very minimum like 5 to 8 thousand people because I went to Anime Corpus Christi earlier this
Yes.
year at that same venue, and it was packed, and they were using this
Oh
they were using the second floor as well as the main
yeah.
events there. So,
And with RealmsCon, we've done the same thing. We've had the upstairs as well.
mhm.
Downstairs, that exhibit hall, we've had lines wrapped around the building. I know what that venue is capable of.
Yeah,
But I also knew the risks with Ticketmaster and
ooh, Ticketmaster.
the yeah, ooh, Ticketmaster. I was like, Ticketmaster is not something that cons should be using. Like cons are too complicated, especially a convention like Kadabracon where we have late night stuff and we have VIP packages and
Hmm.
there's like all these different types of passes. It's too complicated for Ticketmaster. And when you don't have full control over like little details like that, because there were details that were um, mixed up with Ticketmaster that we had to call, and because we don't have control over it, we had to call the venue, be like, "Hey, can you make sure Ticketmaster fixes this? This is not." There were a lot of issues like that
Yeah,
when it came
yeah.
to
I've heard so many horror stories when it comes to Ticketmaster. It's
yeah.
unreal.
Mhm.
So yeah. After this whole weekend, because initially I was, as I said in the beginning, I was very excited because this venue is massive and
Exactly.
Kadabracon definitely deserves an upgrade from last year. But after the weekend, I'm thinking, why this venue and not a hotel that is built
I can tell you
for
exactly why.
conventions? Yeah,
I can
why?
tell you exactly why. Because Kirkwood was obsessed with having enough space to do all these things he wanted to include in the event. He wanted live performances. He wanted the fire show. He wanted the haunted house. He wanted everything. And I kept telling him, dude, you are doing way too much, way too fast. This is only your year 3. You're thinking about doing things that most conventions don't do until at least year 5 or maybe even year 10. Because that's how long it took RealmsCon. We slowly built up to that. We took years before we ever saw that venue.
Dude, it's hilarious. You and I are on basically on the same wavelength in thought process.
Dude,
Because yes, seriously,
I
what?
grew up in this world. I literally was about what, 10 years old when RealmsCon started in 2005.
Hmm.
Me and my siblings, we would just put wristbands on people because we were children and it was cute and we had a lot of fun running around. And my father was also the vendor coordinator, and so we would follow him around, and we had monthly meetings. We had monthly public meetings that we would announce on Facebook. Hey, we're going to meet up at this hotel in this room at 7 p.m. Hope to see you there, because it was all about community. We wanted to hear from the fans, like literally attendees. If they wanted to show, they could show.
Yeah.
If they wanted to vote on guest negotiations, they could. It was open.
That's great. That's definitely great. Also, what the hell was up with the haunted house? That just seems so
Ah,
out of place.
yeah, that was a Kirkwood specialty right there. Because one of the things that Kirk always used to brag to me, because the way I knew about Kirk was a volunteer at RealmsCon.
Uh huh.
I didn't even know he existed until the tail end years, so the very last few years. And like I said, I grew up in this. My It was ran by my family. My aunt, my uncle, my dad, my siblings, and I got involved as we got older. It was also, we had lots of family friends that would help us. Like, it was truly a family affair of people who just loved this community. We were all part
Convention
of it.
loyalty.
Exactly. And so he he loved RealmsCon and he helped. And at one point, he was saying how he was the one that helped us get the haunted house that we had. One year, it was completely free because my uncle did not believe in VIP packages, and he did not believe in charging people additional fees to do things like our rave, our balls, and the haunted house that we had.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
one year, this I want to say it's the same haunted house that we had both times. They started charging $5 at the door to
Mm.
get in, which when he found out, he was pissed. And he made sure he went over there and told them, stop charging people. This is not what we do here. What they pay at the door gets them into everything here.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
do that.
That makes sense.
And Kirk had the audacity to tell me, because we had a huge argument about this. Because I told him that's not how we should do things. People, I mean, I see it all the time now in videos. People are sick and tired of paying all this money to get in through the door, and then having to pay even more money to do these activities that are supposed to be at these events.
Yeah.
And so it was a huge thing that we argued about. And I didn't want him to charge, but he's like, well, they need to make their money back because, they're doing us a favor and this and that. I was like, cool, I get that. But $10 to get into the haunted house?
Ooh. Damn. And that was
Yeah,
for this year.
yes.
Wow.
Technically, he was like, VIPs can get in for free. So just the 50 or so VIPs could get in for free. But
Hmm.
everyone else had to pay $10.
Damn. And it looked really small too.
Yeah, I barely really got to get a chance to really check it out. I never went inside. I could see it from afar, but it did look pretty small from what I could see. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird. Another really weird thing that was at the convention was the gambling booth.
Yeah, I
Do you,
heard about that. I never
yeah,
got to see it myself because, again, I was just really busy. But I did hear these things. I mean, that wasn't the only thing. I mean, Kirk approved a cryptocurrency dude to have a booth there as well. I was
yeah.
like, dude, I'm sorry, no. I was like, hard no. But he was like, well, he paid for a 10 by 10 space and he's only gonna pass out information and this and that. I was like, cool, but he better stay at his booth. Sure enough, come the event, we were hearing complaints that he was going around to all the vendors trying to get them into his crypto thing. And I called him. I was like, Kirk, this guy better go back to his booth and stay there, or you need to tell him to leave.
Wow, that's really awkward.
Yeah.
Because I went up to the booth with the other guy who was with me helping panels, and we got called over to the gambling booth, and
Hmm.
we were just
To
like,
check it out.
yeah, check it out. It was like, we did a round for free, and then
Hmm.
they said like, okay, so to get the rest of the way, you got to pay $5 per turn. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that. Also,
Hmm.
why do you guys have a ton of very expensive items that you're probably gonna
Yeah.
get rid of for free? Like
Yeah.
that's very sus.
People were telling me that they're like, it's got to be rigged. It's got to be rigged. There's
Yeah.
no other way. But the thing is, stuff like that got in there because Kirk was not screening these vendors and artists. Even though we had these rules about no AAR, no this, no that, he was just taking whoever would give him money. I'd be like, Kirk, I would point things out like, dude, we have 9 crochet artists. Do you realize that? 9. But he was like, well, I mean, well, maybe their stuff's different enough from each other, which I tried to look and I was like, I mean, kinda, but that's still a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that goes into one of my other questions, like what was the vetting process? Because yeah, I saw in the vendors hall and the artist alley there were a ton of multiples when
Yeah,
I love
multiples or like
similarities,
multiples or Timu-esque type of vibes. And of course, there was probably some AI art in there as well. But
probably.
that was
Yeah,
the thing. He wasn't really vetting anybody. He was just like, all right, thanks. You want to give me your money? I will take that and you can have a booth.
taking
And
people off the
then,
street.
yeah, and another issue we had is he is terrible at communicating things. So he was making handshake deals and verbal agreements with people and
Oh
not
no.
telling me. Oh yeah, not telling me and not telling his vendor coordinator about it. I remember we were at my place trying to, plan for the event. We were going through the vendors list like, okay, we're going to try to fill out the map for, so we can get the graphic done and have that ready. And we kept noticing like, hey, I don't have this person on my list, but you have them. And then it would be vice versa. And we're like, that's weird. And so I'm like, and then he also did things where he had nicknames for people that he knew. And I'm like,
Nicknames.
cool, but like that can't be like one of them on the map was like Scott's t-shirts. And I'm like, there's no way that's actually their business name. I need to know their business name. I don't have any contact information. How am I supposed to tell them about load-in process and parking when I don't have an email address to send it to them?
Yeah, yeah,
So there
that's
are a lot of
weird.
issues like that. That was really making it hard to finish anything. And he was still accepting vendors like the week before. How are we supposed to finish a map to make sure that everybody knows where everybody's at if he keeps adding people all last minute?
A week before, wow, that.
That's not even all of it. We started accepting vendor applications through Wix, the website platform we were using.
Uh huh.
And then at some point, he started using Eventany because he noticed a lot of other cons use it. And he was like, it's so cool. You pay this thing and like you can get all this reach to get more vendors. I was like, cool. But now we have to change the process on how to apply.
And what
And so
happens
we had
to the other people who
resources.
already applied? Yeah.
And again, I was keeping track, because I was given all these responsibilities all of a sudden. I went from social media manager to assistant director just because of the amount of stuff I realized I was doing. And he
Oh
was like, yeah,
wow.
you're kind of like my right hand man. So I guess actually this is more accurate for your title now. You should, because I didn't want to call myself that for the longest time. But then I realized I was like, I'm doing a lot more now than I started with.
Hmm.
So I guess this is what I am now. And so I started keeping track of all these vendors. And mind you, there was no vendor contract. When people were really upset and were asking like, "Hey, can you send me a copy of the vendor contract?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. There never was one. One wasn't ever made."
Oh wow.
And that's because and I dug back in my messages with Kirk. I sent him an example of an old RealmsCon vendor's contract that he could use and reference to create his own in November of 2024. He just never did it.
Just
He
ignored
never
it.
did it. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So there was
Wow.
never one. So vendors had no idea that this guy had planned for pretty much everything being the exhibit hall, everything, their stuff and the rave. So they didn't know that after vendors hours, we would have a rave in there.
The rave was supposed to be in there?
Yes, the rave was in there Friday and Saturday because there was nowhere else
Wow.
to put it because we didn't have any other rooms. That's all he bought, that bottom area and some of the panel rooms.
Wow.
That's why everything was downstairs.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Then interesting. Okay, so then thinking of downstairs and like just raves in the 18 plus area,
Mhm.
what was going on with the 18 plus area, and more specifically also the burlesque show like Le Grey Cabaret?
So with the 18 plus area, we had those pipe and drape, right?
Yeah.
That was set up by the venue, not fire rental. That was the venue.
Hmm.
And when we noticed because we noticed, when I say we, that would be me and the vendor coordinator, Lindsay. We saw that it was right in front of the panel rooms. And I was like, this is not what we discussed when we did our initial like walk through the venue. And we had talked like we need pipe and drape in this area for the 18 plus. We had talked with one of the event coordinators for the venue, and they're like, well, there's going to be another event going on in one of these other rooms in the hallway, so we need to make sure that there is a hallway back here for people to be able to go past. And so we're like, all right, cool, no problem. But for whatever reason, they decided, I don't know if there was just a miscommunication with Kirk on that, but for whatever reason, they put the panel rooms like in the 18 plus section. I was like, no, guys. I told them, I was like, we're gonna have all ages panels during the day.
Yeah.
This area is for 18 plus. We can't have this. And the venue told us we could not move it. We were not allowed to move it whatsoever. They said, do not touch it. It's not going anywhere. It's staying right here. So,
Wow.
yeah, there was that. So, yeah, there were definitely issues with the venue. There were a ton of issues with the venue.
Hmm.
But we can't blame just the venue for everything that went on.
No, no, it definitely can't. Definitely can't. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, because we got in Saturday and was like, where are the panels? And yeah, they're behind the 18
And
plus.
I told Kirk when I finally, when I could get a hold of him, because that was a whole other thing. It was very hard to get a hold of him during the weekend.
Yeah.
So when I did get a hold of him, I warned him. I was like, "Hey, they did this. We need more pipe and drape." So I asked him. I was like, "Hey, do you think we can get any more?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, of course. Da-da-da. Let me try to work on that." I even called Fire Rentals myself. I was like, "Hey, we have this issue. Is there any way we can get more pipe and drape?" And when I talked to them, they were essentially like, "We dropped off everything. Like that's pretty much all we have." And so I was just like, "Okay, then I guess we're just going to have to figure this out." So I called Kirk, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll go buy some pipe and drape for such and such, and it's going to be like $60. No problem, no problem." He never did it.
Oh
He never
no.
did it. So literally, Saturday morning, I believe, we had a private panel for a school district. There was an anime club, a teacher who ran the anime club
Hmm.
that reached out to us. So Kirk was very excited about it. It was going to be like all these students. It was going to be like close to almost 40 students coming in for this private artist panel,
Yeah.
and they had to go through the 18 plus section to get into it.
And it was the morning, and they hadn't
Yeah.
covered everything
Yeah.
yet.
I mean,
Oh.
some stuff was covered, but some stuff wasn't.
Yeah.
So we literally had to scram and get as many bodies as we could. Mind you, we also had a lot of issues with having enough volunteers to help with the event. So that was
Mm.
another issue we had that I
Yeah.
warned him about. We did not have enough volunteers. So we rounded up who we could, and they literally took some tablecloths that we had and held it up for when the kids passed by to go into the panel.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
what we had to do because there was never any more pipe and drape.
That's wild. Wow. I
Now the burlesque. The burlesque was promised by Kirk main stage. They
yeah.
had it in their head and everything that I mean, Kirk definitely talked to them more than I did,
Hmm.
but I made the schedule and I told Kirk, "Hey, the burlesque is an 18 plus event. We can't have it on main stage because you have your open floor plan." And mind you, the rave also was set in stone. That was announced earlier than anything else, that it was going to start at 10 p.m. We had all these DJs planned. They had set times. That wasn't moving around anywhere.
Yeah.
And because Kirk was so big on like, we have to have all these things, all that stuff, all these panels, the schedule was very packed. I couldn't move anything around. There
Yeah.
was no way it was going to happen. And again, since we didn't have any more pipe and drape, it was going to be really hard to set up the burlesque the way they needed.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so they left. They were like, we can't do this. We were promised main stage. Why aren't we getting main stage? And then, of course, the pipe and drape issue and the changing, like, they need all this stuff that we just didn't have.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing with the main stage, because I noticed this last year as well. One of the big issues I think with this convention has with the main stage is they put it smack dab in the vendors area, because
Yeah.
last year they had it. You know this as well. They had it in the vendors
Mhm.
area, but
Yeah.
it was
I
in
remember.
it was at the edge of the vendors area.
Hmm.
It was corded off, and they
Hmm.
had everyone there, all the voice actors, all the big panels right there. Everyone was
Mhm.
blocking that area, so you could barely get past or even get in to sit down
Yeah,
in that area.
I remember
So
that. I remember having to stand with my young child because there was nowhere to really go.
yeah, so the main stage being in the vendors area is really weird
Hmm.
considering they have all this big space. Like if you were
Yeah.
to do a main vendor or main stage area, I would think you would do it at one of either end of the hallway, not hallway, one of either end of the vendor area because you have so
Well, the
much
thing with that,
space.
yeah, no, we tried that,
Yeah.
but supposedly, according to who was it? I believe, I guess it was the people who were providing the stage.
Hmm.
So essentially, they told us we couldn't do it on one of the ends
Yeah.
of either side because the ceiling was too low.
Oh,
It
okay.
had to be there. So it was another issue.
Okay, yeah, yeah, because side was lower than the other, so
Yes.
okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, yeah,
That's another reason why the map took so long. Like, I mean, then again, the map never saw the light of day, um, because it could never get done. There was just too many things that constantly kept getting changed, and there were mistakes that needed to be updated. But then again, our poor graphic artists, they were all swamped. That no one could have the time to keep up with all of Kirk's demands, so they couldn't finish everything he wanted.
yeah,
And we only have so many people available to do that.
hmm yeah, yeah. That sucks. So, in your opinion, what do you think should have been done with the main stage area?
It was one of those things where I'm like, there wasn't a whole lot of options. There, that was one of the only places we could put it.
Yeah.
I did my best to try to, and that's because we were supposed to technically have a side stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was supposed to be a side stage. Technically, because we had announced these wrestlers that were supposed to come down, and Kirk has used them before and have used their wrestling ring essentially as a side stage. So that's why it was labeled side stage on the schedule.
Huh?
But a week or two before the event, we found out that apparently the wrestlers broke their stage
Oh
at their
no!
last event.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
literally, so many things went wrong. Like, I've never seen this many things go wrong.
It's wild to think.
Like, I swear, there was so many signs. It was like God himself was trying to keep this man from having this event because there was even birds. There were
There
two
were
birds that flew into the windows at registration. I know people who
what?
witnessed it. Yeah, it happened twice. That's a bad
Wow.
omen.
No, that's the
Signs
bad
of
that's
registration.
bad juju right there. Oh yeah.
Exactly. And it happened twice. So,
Really?
yes, I'm not even kidding. I am dead serious.
Wow, this con was cursed
Cursed.
from the start.
Literally, my boyfriend kept telling me, he's like, I swear, there's been so many issues left and right that I swear this month is cursed. This con is cursed. That that you should probably get out. But I was so in deep, and again, Kirk kept promising me all these. We just need to get through this year. We just need to get through this year, and then we'll finally be able to start. Because I've been volunteering this whole time. I haven't been paid anything.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And that was something that is what it is sometimes. I knew because, again, no one, from what I understood, got paid in the beginning for Realms Gone either, because that's kind of what you do when you're starting out. So in my head, I was like, I know what I'm signing up for, sure. But then he started promising money once we got through it. Then we can start paying ourselves and we can start doing this. And we were already planning another event, the Echeforia 18 plus main event in
Y-
March.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's why there was an 18 plus section, because originally that wasn't in the plans. That came after the fact when he started uh, wanting to do the Echeforia event. So we were like, all right, well then I guess we can do an 18 plus section to help promote the event.
Yeah,
So
that
we
would
could
make
already
sense.
like get kind of people in, and so that's why the 18 plus section was even there.
Yeah, all right, interesting. Yeah, because a lot of cons sometimes have 18 plus, but
Yes.
usually they don't put it in front of the panel
Panel.
rooms. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
But because again, Kirk was like, we got to make sure we have all the space for stuff and this and that. We got to. That's why there was a lot of gap, because technically that was supposed to be like our dance floor. We had a group of dancers that were supposed to dance,
hmm.
but they had also canceled because they had car troubles.
Oh, bummer.
So yeah, we had a lot of cancellations across the board.
Yeah, yeah. I think I heard something like almost 75% of the vendors and artists left before Sunday, something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, people left Saturday,
Wow.
and then people started leaving like by about 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Hmm.
So by that time, again, I could never get a hold of Kirk. So I made an executive decision to be like, I can't keep letting people purchase tickets at the door when there's like nothing left at this point. I
Yeah.
can't. So I told them to close it early. I was like, close that box office early. We're just gonna let people in for free. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's honestly a good decision, and
And
probably a
that's not the
tough
only
one.
time I had to do that
Really?
because Ticketmaster cut the box office at 8 p.m. Or not the box office. They did cut the Friday sales on Friday, probably around the same time, 8 p.m. online. So you shouldn't purchase it online anymore. And
Hmm.
then the venue cut the box office at 8 p.m. We didn't even know they were doing that because we were
Wow.
like, we still have late night stuff going on, guys. With my experience again with RealmsCon, when it was like open until 3 in the morning at that venue, we were still selling tickets late at night because we knew there are people who like to come just for the rave,
Yeah.
for the late night stuff, for the gaming that was still open late night. So I knew we would have that. I guess the venue didn't realize that because again, they just don't understand this kind of con. And again, these other cons around here don't stay open that late, so they didn't expect for people to show up that late. So again, people were showing up and they couldn't pay. So I'm like, I guess I'm giving out free tickets again because I'm not telling them to go home. They came all this way. No, they can come. I'm just gonna give away free passes. Again, I couldn't get a hold of Kirk, so I just executive decision that decision as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's so bizarre. Do you have any idea where he was during this entire event?
Honestly, I really don't know because no one could get a hold of him. He wasn't answering calls. He wasn't answering text messages, people's questions. Everybody started freaking out and coming to me. So I was like, well, I guess I'm running the show now because Kirk's nowhere to be seen, and I'll try my best with all the information that I know of of everything.
Hmm.
But people were saying things like, well, he was telling everybody like, oh, I'm gonna go get tables and chairs. I'm gonna go get tables and chairs. I'm like, dude, it's been like 5 hours. It doesn't take 5 hours to get tables and chairs, especially since we're Corpus and there's not a whole lot of options. And
Yeah.
he kept saying like, "Oh, I got tied away from doing this, and then I got this happened, so I couldn't do that." And he was like, "I didn't leave." I'm like, "Then why did you leave if everything was closed by the time you were able to leave?"
I went to the
But then,
movies.
no, no, no. At some point, some people were telling me, "Oh, he said something about he was going to go to his son's sports practice because it was Friday."
What?
And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what? He went where? It's a practice? I get that's your child. I get it. I'm a
Yeah.
mom." But sometimes you have to make sacrifices. I myself have never left my son with someone else overnight more than twice. I've only done it twice, and he's
Hmm.
about to be 3. And one of those times was Friday night at this con. So sometimes you have to make sacrifices. So I'm like, what do you mean he's going to his kid's sports practice on Friday during his event? When I
You,
called him and confronted him about it, he told me he didn't get a chance to go. So I don't know. And what I've realized about this man is I can't believe anything he tells me.
yeah.
Because I've caught him in many lies. After everything this past weekend, I've been doing a lot of digging, and this man has lied about many things to my face to keep me keeping the con planning on with him. There was a lot of things I found.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard a lot of things second and third hand. Like last
Hmm.
year, a couple year, 2 years ago, people
Hmm.
were just kicked out, or just people were
Yeah.
having issues with bathrooms, trans
Hmm.
bathrooms, and public bathrooms, all
Hmm.
that stuff. Like it's a yeah. I'm not surprised that people didn't show up this year. I'm a little
Yeah.
surprised, but I'm not surprised as well.
Yeah. And that was one of those things. He had an excuse for everything.
Oh
I would ask
no.
questions about certain things, and he'd be like, oh, this happened, or oh, this person, my vendor coordinator, he left me high and dry. Boo hoo on Thursday. I was like, oh, no wonder it was such a crazy, chaotic mess. Your vendor coordinator left you on Thursday. No wonder. And he just had something for everything. And I just believed everything because I didn't think this man was capable of lying like this.
It's always someone else's fault.
Yes,
Wow, wow,
always.
wow. One so this is my last question. Like we can keep talking as long as we want,
Of
but this is
course.
my
Yeah.
last question. Do you have any thoughts or any idea what was going on with security at the venue? Because at the
The
very
venue security people
yeah.
or like volunteers and stuff that we had.
No, like venue security.
They were terrible. They were absolutely terrible.
Oh yeah, they were horrible.
Yeah, I know, because I was at registration a lot of times when I was able to sit down finally, but of course I was still doing things at registration.
Hmm.
Everyone coming to me for questions left and right. But yeah, they had to go through security and they were right in front of me most of the time, taking people's waters from them, taking people's food.
Yeah.
Just it broke my heart having to sit there and watch these people do it. At one point, one of the security people had all this candy in her hands and she was like, tee hee hee, you guys want some? To the other security people. And I called them out on it. I was like,
What the
are you
hell?
kidding me? Are you serious? You're teeing about candy? And they're like, well, do you want some? I'm like, no, I don't want your stupid candy.
I want you to
I want
go and
people
let
to
these people
I
come
want
in.
exactly. I want you to stop taking water away from people.
I literally had to
Water.
watch. I literally watched for 5 minutes. Security turn people away, and force them to either eat or
Hmm.
drink their stuff or throw it
Hmm.
away. Like
Yeah.
that was terrible.
Yeah, they didn't even care if you had a medical reason for needing like snacks or water. They
Hmm.
didn't care.
Yeah,
So that was definitely an issue.
kind of why I snuck my water bottle inside my bag.
Oh yeah, we all know the tips and tricks on how to get. I
Oh
At
yeah,
some point
absolutely.
I was like, you know what? I snuck some water and little granola bars for us, and I was eating them in front of them. I did not care, and they never said anything to me. I was like, try. Pull it out of my cold dead hands. I was so upset. On Friday, after I had been running around sweating, literally left and right solving issues, I went to the guest services place and I wanted to confirm. I was like, hey, I'm a staff member for this event that we have going on. Can I please? My boyfriend was gone at the time,
Hmm.
and he was on the phone with me, and he was trying to ask if I could get a ice chest. He was trying to get an ice chest of water to us,
Yeah.
and so I asked. I don't want to get in trouble. Let me ask them. So I went over to the guest services desk, and I asked them, "Can we do this? I'm a staff member. Can we please have an ice chest of water?" And so he calls someone up. He's like, "Let me ask." He calls. I wait a little while. He hangs up. He looks at me and he said, "No."
Wow.
And that is when I broke down and cried.
Oh
I was
no.
I could not hold it in anywhere. I was like, "Oh my god. I can't even I was dying of thirst. My boyfriend was gone. I had no money. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I hadn't worked a real job getting paid anything in like 3 years."
Hmm.
So, I was like, I had nothing. And so all of a sudden I look around, I was like, oh look, 5 drinks in front of me. There was one of these, oh my goodness. There was an artist's mom that I remember, an 18 plus artist specifically.
Yeah.
And her mom, I saw her and I recognized her and she came running over. She's like, is that a baby crying? Hold on. And she got me some drinks.
Oh no.
Everybody was like surrounded by all these people. Everyone kept asking me, why didn't you leave? These people, these cosplayers,
Hmm.
the performers, the attendees, like I stuck around to make sure we could keep this event from imploding on itself so they can actually enjoy themselves and do what they came here for.
We love the moms. We love the con moms. Oh.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. I We had a beautiful con mom for RealmsCon and I always admired her. I was like, I want to be her. So that's why I care so much about all this. And so that was the only time I ever broke down and cried that whole weekend. I was fine with everything else, but that's what got me.
Wow, yeah, yeah, and plus that venue doesn't have really any faucets
No.
for water. Like there's maybe one next to
I think
the
it was like
men's
one,
bathroom,
yeah.
but everything
Yeah,
else you
one or
had to.
two
Yeah,
at most.
yeah,
And you don't wanna be drinking that. No one wants to
no,
drink
no,
that.
it's probably nasty.
No,
It's
they
full of
want you to pay $5 for a bottle of water.
$5 for like a 20 for 20 ounce of water. Yeah,
Something like that, yeah.
it's ridiculous. No, yeah, it's so bizarre. Yeah, so this entire weekend, this entire venue event has just been one colossal screw up after another. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm honestly glad that you left them, that you just said no, this is done, and
I
I'm
was done, like, the weekend. Like, Friday, my
you
me and
you
my
were done
people,
before they started.
we were done for that. We were like we were honestly for can I cuss more? Because
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
remember if
do
it
it,
was
do it, do it.
okay, cool. I was like, "Fuck this man. Fuck Kirk. We're gonna bring back RealmsCon." Because again, I brought all these people that I had worked with, that I grew up around
Mm-hmm.
with RealmsCon. I brought them to help this man
Yeah.
for this event. I had my lovely, oh my goodness, my lovely. He used to be the assistant director for RealmsCon, and then we made these jokes about like now I'm what he was, and now he's my minion. I used to be his minion because I was younger, but now he was my minion, and he was there for me. He opened that show for Kirk, and closed that show for Kirk.
Wow.
And he never received a thank you, or he barely even acknowledged him at
Whoo.
all. Mind you, yes, we were talking some shit about him, throughout the event.
Yeah,
Clearly, because we
I
were all
don't,
pissed.
yeah, I don't
He
blame you.
abandoned us to run his event for him, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And he set us up to fail, set us up for failure in every which way. Everybody, the guest relations person, the vendor coordinator, who is choosing to stick with him after all this, mind you.
Yeah. Yeah. Who,
Everyone else is like, I'm done with this man. I'm
uh,
done with him.
I honestly would not be surprised if next year there is no Kadabracon. Or
Oh,
even,
this man is already telling people it was a success. You know what? I think I'm going to take it to
what?
Austin. Yes, he is straight up telling people it was a success and he's taking it to Austin next.
How? I
I
counted
don't know.
maybe 250 people at best the entire convention.
I don't know. That's the thing.
That,
There was a lot. I mean, maybe he made a lot of money off of the vendors, which there are a lot of upset vendors that are definitely going to be asking for some refunds.
oh, I can
So
imagine.
I really hope he pays them. I mean, well, then again, this man also supposedly owes guests money from year one.
Year one?
Year one guests have been emailing. That's another thing. I received an email on
Oh,
Saturday of the event stating, "Oh, hey, Kirk, we hear that you're having another event. I mean, it would be really nice if you would do the right thing and pay us." And I'm like, wait, what? And I go
wow.
through it. And it's a list of all these different guests and all the different amounts that he owed each and every one of them.
Holy
And he told
crap.
me, yeah, he told me about one person. And he was like, oh, no, no, no. She's a diva. She did this. She was trying to add all these extra things to her contract. And she wanted this. And she did that. And she's an alcoholic. She's addicted to coke, and she's blacklisted in the industry. He was just really just
What the hell?
digging on her, I guess, to justify, like, oh yeah, she says all that, but it don't believe her, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I had never met her before, so I was like, I don't know what to think. I've dealt with some prima donna guests before in my years of being involved with RealmsCon, so I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know, maybe, you never know.
Yeah, I've seen a few of my share as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, I guess, Kirk, why would you lie to me? I never thought he would lie to me like that. And so, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, no, no. But then again, I was so busy, I never got the chance to confront him about it. So I
Oh,
just I just kept a hold of that. I was like, okay, I'll
fun,
look into
fun.
that later.
That makes the rumors of this year's VAs having a bad time much
Oh,
more
they definitely
plausible.
had a bad time. I talked to them. I felt so horrible. It was Sunday when I finally got the chance to talk to them because I was just too busy the rest of the time.
Yeah.
I went over there. I introduced myself. I was like, I am so sorry it's taken me this long to finally introduce myself to you. I am, the assistant director. I am so sorry because I kept hearing all these things. I swear, one of our guests was about to punch Kirk or something. He was getting ready to kick his. He was
Wow.
pissed. So yeah, these guys were pissed because this man did not have the money to pay their per diems.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to have a merch booth, a Kadabricon merch booth, where they were going to sell bags and shirts and stickers and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that
That
makes
never
sense.
happened. That never happened. His
Yeah.
girlfriend was supposed to run it with her daughters, and I was like, okay, cool. We don't have the Ticketmaster money yet because it's held hostage, and we're not going to get until like weeks after the event. And we've already used all this other funding that we see for everything else. So I was like, oh, at least we'll have that.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, they told me the stuff didn't get made, blah blah blah. Something happened. So I was like, okay, I guess we're just not gonna have that either. And so we're like, where's our per diems? He had nothing to give them, and so
Wow.
that was a big reason why they were pissed.
Wow. Wow. Yeah,
I mean, they also had hotel issues, but that's a whole other thing.
I even heard that one voice actor had their stuff stolen, stuff like that.
Yes, luckily she got it back. She got it
Okay,
back.
they good. Thank God.
Yes, I heard about that too, and I was like, please tell me. And so I was asking around. I was like, please tell me someone found it, and yeah, we're good. But yeah,
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's God, I
And then
Jesus.
I didn't even find out that Reed Shannon canceled until someone told me. Someone else, because of course Kirk wasn't the one that told me.
Really?
Someone else told me finally. They're like, "Oh yeah, apparently he got caught up at a different event or something like that, and so that's why he's not here." I was like, "Okay, but it would have been nice if Kirk told me." So a lot of that got canceled.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. It. So I mentioned this in our actual review. Is like, I wish conventions would stop over prioritizing voice actors over everything
Mhm,
else, because
yeah, I've
voice
noticed
actors
that.
are great.
Yes,
They draw a lot of people in, but they can't be the main focus.
no, yeah, I've heard about a lot of conventions that are like it's mostly just the guests. You go in there, you pay this money to get in, you go and get some autographs, and then you leave.
Yeah.
Like there's not enough panels to keep people engaged, to keep them there, to keep them wanting to like let's go back to the vendor hall and go get some stuff that we saw earlier. Like there's nothing keeping people there.
Hmm. Yeah, I like a couple months ago there was a convention. There was a little convention in Waco that I bought a Saturday ticket to, just
Hmm.
to get an autograph and a photo with a single voice actor.
Hmm.
And just like there were no panels. There's nothing else besides voice actors and the vendor hall. So like, yeah, voice actors are great, but they can't be the main draw. Like,
Exactly.
conventions need to start understanding this. Like,
Yeah. And so
panels
Kirk
are
was
just as
trying.
important.
Yeah, Kirk was trying to have all these different things. He's like, yeah, we gotta have this and we gotta have that. Make sure there's plenty of stuff to do. That's why I would make sure, like, okay, let's make sure we have enough panels. But you gotta make sure you have stuff for the panels. I
Yeah.
felt so horrible that these people were just sitting on the floor. I was like, oh my god, there's. I mean, at least they look like they're having a good time for some of these panels. Like some people didn't mind, which is nice and all, because you know that con life sometimes be that way.
Hmm.
But it was heartbreaking. It was really sad seeing that.
Yeah. At the very least, our Wheels of Fortune panel, we had a good time, but on the offside, it
Yeah.
was cold as hell in there.
Oh, I bet. I know. I remember being in there and I was like, it's freezing over here.
I was like, where are we? Winter?
Exactly. Yeah, that venue, it gets cold. And if you don't have the bodies in there to balance it out, it's freezing.
Yeah, yeah. This past weekend was really weird, because for normal conventions, normal established conventions, we can our panels alone can pull in at the very least like 50 people, 50 to
Yeah, I
100
remember seeing
people.
the pictures you sent me.
Yeah, and the fact that we only got maybe 25 people throughout the entire weekend
Hmm.
was rough, but
Hmm.
we did what we could. We
Exactly.
enjoyed what we could, but yeah, it was what definitely was not a good event. So yeah, but honestly, thank you.
Especially for the vendors and artists, though, they really had a rough time. It was hard seeing them like the fact that we had our tables and chairs outsourced, but they didn't even get there until like almost 10, and we had vendors there from 9 o'clock trying to set up, and they couldn't because we didn't have any tables and chairs to give them.
Yeah, yeah, I heard. I was at the Ichigon booth for a bit of Saturday as well. Like,
Mhm.
I heard that people were taking tables and chairs
Yeah,
from
yeah.
everywhere else too to make do. But yeah,
Mhm.
it sucks. It really
It was very
sucks.
cutthroat.
Yeah, it is.
My brother was in there trying to help vendors set up and things like that because he has experience doing that.
Hmm.
And he went up to the vendor coordinator. Mind you, he's never met her before. He went up to the vendor coordinator and he was like, "Hey, I see you're struggling. What do you need? I'm here to help." And
Yeah.
she just looked at his staff badge, looked up at him, and said, "I know what I'm doing. I don't need any help."
Wow.
And so he was like, "Okay, fine." And he walked away and went off to go help other people.
Wow.
I
That's
get she was
amazing.
confused, but she didn't know who he was. I mean, mind you, Kirk knows him. I didn't really have the time to explain to her who he was, but the staff badge should have been enough to be like, okay, I can have this person help me. No, but there was a lot of issues with her. Like vendors were telling me that she was yelling at people just because they asked where their spot was.
What? Really?
Yes, and
Wow.
I warned Kirk about her too. I was like, Kirk, she is not a people person. do not, because that was an argument that we had as well. She wanted to be the one that the vendors checked in with. And she was going on like, you're going to have a lot of upset vendors if they can't check in at the bay doors. I was like, girl, with RealmsCon, that was also my job. Vendors always checked in with me. I handed them their packets of their passes, the map, the everything they needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I always did it that way 4 years. So I was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And I guess she told Kirk, because then he asked me, he's like, yeah, so you're not going to be at the bay doors to do check-in? I was like, no, dude. In the emails that I sent everybody, they need to check in with me at registration because that's how I've always done it. And he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. And so I thought that was the end of it. And then when we got there, of course, there was a lot about setup that was chaotic. Yeah, nothing was prepared. Nothing. So she ended up winning in the end and got to do check-in like she wanted.
Wow.
And we all know who that went.
Yeah, I definitely do. Wow. Okay. Honestly, I'm surprised by how much more went wrong than I actually realized.
I spoke to my aunt about it all because I convinced him to come on Sunday to check it out. And I told her, I was like, I warned him every step of the way, all these issues that were going to come up. He either didn't take me seriously, probably forgot about it, or just didn't know how to go about handling it.
Yeah. That sounds
and
like
I can only do so much. I didn't have access to everything that he did. I didn't have, access to any funding to anything. So it's not like I could do things for him on that. And I mean, I did a lot of things for him. I was spoon feeding this man so many answers. He would ask me questions. I'm like, but dude, you're the director. Why are you asking me how to go about this?
You're the one. You should know this.
You should know this. I would tell him these things.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was a lot of things like that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, honestly, this has been a great talk. So I think we'll end this here, just so we don't get.
I know, because it is a lot.
Yeah, don't.
So much more. That's not even the half of it, hon.
Yeah.
That's not even half of it.
Well, just so we don't get super spiteful, we'll probably just end it here. But yeah, thank you, Crystal, for coming on for educating us as to what actually went wrong and what was going on.
And I was very honest when I was going around talking to vendors and artists. I was like, this is what happened. This is what happened. I warned so many times, and I tried my best, and it is what it is.
Well,
and so that's why they all were like, you know what? It's kind of on him. You did your best. Everyone was apologizing to me because I was very scared that everybody was going to be upset with me because I was the face they kept seeing because Kirk was nowhere to be found half the time.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I can 100% believe that not a single person made any money this weekend.
I was hearing a lot of that. It broke my heart to hear that. And that's because Tom was like, dude, you have way too many vendors in here. No one's going to make money. And he told me, hey, they know the risks.
Wow. Holy shit.
Not everybody's guaranteed to make money.
I
was like, yeah, because you have so much business. I mean, so much competition. Of course they're not going to be, especially when you have so many repeats of things. But that's what he told me. So I was like, all right, this is your show, I guess.
Wow, that's wild. All right, well, that's gonna be it for us. Again, thank you for coming on. RealmsCon, are you guys doing that next year?
I mean, honestly, we're really seriously debating on it.
Yeah.
But that's my uncle's baby. We have to talk about it. But in my opinion, it's just like, well, it looks like we can do this, guys. I've never ran a show before, and apparently I can do it.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you guys do end up doing it and want some fun, entertaining game show panels, hit us up. We would be happy to.
I would. Yeah, don't worry. I've got all your contact info. I will definitely reach out to a lot of these amazing people that I happen to meet during this chaotic, traumatic experience.
Clusterfuck is what I would call it. But yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I don't know how I did it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it, but somehow I survived.
Somehow. Yoo-hoo! All right. Well, thank you again, Crystal. It's been it's been a time.
Yes.
This is definitely one of the conventions of all time.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this insightful tea, and
Oh, that's
let us know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Let us know. Chris will probably be checking the comments too, so
oh,
let
of
us
course.
know what you guys thought, what your experiences were, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Yeah.